Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings, get those hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready, forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up, weekdays, catch us live, somebody, let's go.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there, enjoying your day. Hopefully the show finds you in good spirits. It has been a little crazy today with all the information that has been coming out as of recently. But there's supposed to be a press conference happening in just a little bit, in just a few minutes. There's supposed to be a press conference revolving around RUDY FARIAS. And like I said, this is a wild series of events, for lack of a better term. My mind is still blown about this, but I wanted to do a separate show. So I do appreciate you guys coming back here and watching this with me. But I did want to do a live, separate press conference watch party, just to keep it clean, because I know this is new updates. I wanted to give you guys, the last show was to kind of give you a broad stroke, bullet point, up-to-date breakdown of what's been transpiring around this case. Hopefully I did it. Hopefully I did it justice, because there's a lot to break down. A lot of information has come out, even little small things as well. So I try to give you guys as much as I could, real talk. But still, nonetheless, allegedly, there's going to be a press conference here in just a little bit. I'm still personally trying to find said press conference as well, because I have it out here, just trying to see if there's anything as far as information. I keep refreshing just to see if there's anything as of late. I don't see anything yet, but I'm sure you guys are going to keep an eye out on it as well. So I will make sure I do that. I'm keeping my eyes peeled. One eye over here, one eye over here, one eye over here too. So anyway, I got three eyes, whatever. But you know what I'm saying. Please do me a favor, hit that like button down below. Some housekeeping really quick. Send it past 300 likes. That would really, really mean a lot to me as well. Please, please, and thank you. And of course, if you haven't done that yet, hit that subscribe button, hit that join button down below. If you're interested in supporting me even more, join my Patreon. That would be greatly appreciated and all that. But we got to get into some things. Let's rock and roll. Okay? Because the press conference is allegedly going to be happening sometime around 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. So I wanted to make sure that we are all here together to watch it with our own two eyes, or apparently one eye, like Janet is saying, or three eyes, like I have a third here. I don't know. Something like that. But you know what I'm saying, okay? So good morning to everybody again. Okay, happy Thursday. Wow, it's Thursday. It's Thursday, y'all. Happy Thursday to every single one of y'all. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Yeah, I'm going to check. Somebody did, Mr. Jones just said that KHOU might have it as well. So I'm going to look over there really quick. Okay. Come on. My mouse likes to be a pain in the butt. Aha. No, that is just, here. It looks like they're playing stuff. So, I mean, it's supposed to be happening. Let me just show it to you guys. Sorry. Let me just show this. Sorry. Whoops. Make sure you guys have it. So as you can see, they're kind of revving things up, getting things ready for this. Him that he had to be the husband. Happy Thursday to you as well, Maria. Okay. Thank you so much for the love.
According to Cornell, Rudy told detectives his mother hid him in her house, gave him drugs, and physically and sexually abused him. All while Cornell says she was profiting off his disappearance by raising money for the search.
I've never seen Rudy since the day he went missing.
Sylvia Lopez is another aunt who says over the years, she even traveled out of state with Santana to look for her son.
She had me out there in California thinking that they had found somebody that looked like Rudy in California.
That's
and I
so
went
weird
all
to
the
me,
way
y'all.
with her.
That is so weird to me. But
at this time, none of the allegations made by Quanell X have been confirmed by investigators. Now, he says he was invited, as you heard there, by Rudy's mom, Janie Santana, to the hotel in Humble where investigators were talking to Rudy. I've got a live look at 2 locations on your screen right now. On the left is the HPD press briefing. Again, that should get underway any moment. And on the right is the home where Janie Santana was living and where, according to Quanell X and his conversation he says he had with Rudy, Rudy has lived for the past 8 years undetected after being reported missing when friends and family and community members searched for him. As those of you are joining, waiting to hear from HPD about Rudy's case, just another reminder that this press conference is going to be twofold. The first part is going to be about cameras, dash cam videos, dash cam cameras set up in patrol cars. After that is complete, HPD will move on to the Rudy Farias investigation. I know I've stressed over and over again that we don't have a lot of answers, but if you have some questions, I can try to answer what we can, or I can just clarify that we don't know yet. I'm watching our Facebook comments now to see if we get any questions. Again, initially, this appeared to be a miracle. A man found alive 8 years after his disappearance in his own city, in the city where he went missing. Beyond that, we have different versions of events. Neighbors who have conflicting reports about seeing Rudy in the neighborhood or not. Scott asked if they've located Janie. She was at the hotel in Humble where the investigators were talking to Rudy yesterday. In fact, Quanell X says she is the one who called him and invited him to be there. Leanne asked if charges are being filed against the mother. We don't know if any of the allegations made by Quanell X, based on the conversation he has with Rudy, are valid at this point. Houston Police, almost immediately after that press conference with Quanell X, released a statement saying that they were going to wait until today, until this press conference.
Here it comes.
I see Chief Troy Finner making his way to the
Hit that like button down below, please, and thank you.
Go ahead and take this live.
Let's rock and roll.
Everybody up.
This is going to be interesting.
Good. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. We're here to discuss the missing person investigation of Rudy Farias. But before I do that, I want to address our dash cam news that's been in the news starting 2 weeks ago. And I'm gonna do that really, really quickly. And then I'm gonna bring up Lieutenant Zamora from the Missing Persons Unit, who'll provide some detail on the investigation. And also Commander Garcia will come in and translate for us. So a few weeks ago, there were a report that we only had only 15% of our vehicles were equipped with body-worn camera, with dash cams, I meant to say. That didn't take into account that we don't equip dash cams on investigative vehicles. So let me give you just a quick breakdown on the actual numbers. We have about 3,200 vehicles on our fleet used for various duties. 1,400 of those vehicles are equipped with lights and sirens, our traditional patrol cars. 1,800 of those are investigative vehicles and undercover vehicles. of that number, of the 1,400, not every marked vehicle is used to conduct traffic stops, investigations, calls for service. Examples: if you have a vehicle that's assigned to public affairs, community affairs, it's a show vehicle. I'm not putting a dash cam on it. If we have vehicles assigned to our training division and we're just training officers how to drive, I'm not putting dash cams on that. So the actual numbers, we have 579 vehicles out of the 1,400 vehicles are equipped with dash cams. The mayor has agreed to devote additional $2 million, and that will outfit an additional 143 vehicles. So we're not at 100%, like I said when I did that interview, but we're definitely moving in that right direction. So I want to thank the mayor again for stepping in with that funding. Last thing I want to say about that, and we'll bring up the lieutenant. During my administration, which has been a little bit over 2 years, we've equipped 355 vehicles. That's probably 60% or so of our fleet right now. So we do believe in transparency, and definitely as the chief of police, I believe in transparency. So anything that we can do to move that.
What's up with this?
But I'm going to bring the investigator up, and we'll hold up, Mario. I'm going to bring the investigator up, and we're going to entertain all questions at the end about the dash cams and also this investigation. So we'll entertain everything.
Why is he talking about Why is he talking about dash cams and this at the same? What? Does anybody else understand what's going on here?
Thank you.
That's news to me.
I'm Lieutenant Zamora with the Homicide Division Missing Persons Unit. To my left, I have Detective Sergeant Jimenez, Detective Brian Ford, and Detective Atlanta Claiborne. Today, we're discussing facts related to 25-year-old Rudy Farias, who was reported missing on March 7th, 2015. He was 17 years old when his mother reported him missing. During the 8-year time frame where he was missing, investigators followed up on many tips, leads, collected evidence proving that Rudy was not missing during the 8-year period. Many of these facts included contacts and statements with relatives, friends, neighbors, and medical professionals.
Okay.
Rudy was recently identified as having previous HPD interactions, meaning that he made contact with patrol officers out on the street. However, during these contacts, fictitious names and date of births were given, misleading the officers, and Rudy would remain missing. In fact, both Janie, Rudy's mother, and Rudy himself gave fictitious names while interacting with various patrol officers.
Wow.
After investigators talked with him yesterday, it was discovered that Rudy returned home the following day on March 8th, 2015. The mother, Janie, continued to deceive police by remaining adamant that Rudy was still missing. She alleged her nephew was the person friends and family were seeing coming and going. However, we disputed that. Currently, the DA has declined any charges at this time for making fictitious reports and failure to ID. Investigators have reached out to Adult Protective Services. HPD Victim Services has reached out. We've also connected Rudy with Victim Services to ensure that he has a method to recover. Now, based on Rudy's interview, there were no reports of sexual abuse reported.
Wow.
If there is a disclosure made, we will continue to investigate. Currently, the investigation is active, and there are new leads coming in. We'll continue to follow those leads. We do take all allegations seriously, and any new information or facts that we receive will be investigated.
That's
one question at a time,
it?
please.
Oh,
Do
no.
not yell them out.
I'm going to let him translate, then we're going to do it.
Okay.
Thank you. Go ahead.
okay.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Buenos días y gracias a todos por estar aquí. Antes de hablar sobre el caso involucrando a la persona desaparecida Rudy Farias, vamos a hablar un poquito sobre un asunto que ha aparecido en las noticias, que es referente a las cámaras montadas en el tablero de los vehículos policíacos. Queremos avisarles que de todos los vehículos que tenemos en nuestra flota, no todos necesitan una cámara montada. Muchos vehículos son usados en investigaciones, no hacen paros de detención de tráfico y esos no necesitan cámaras montadas. También si son vehículos que van a ir a asuntos comunitarios, esos vehículos no necesitan cámaras montadas. Lo que sí podemos decirles es que de los que sí necesitan cámaras montadas, el 50% de nuestros vehículos tienen esas cámaras y estamos trabajando con el alcalde que nos ha dado $2 millones para ponerle las cámaras al resto de nuestros vehículos. Aproximadamente 143 vehículos van a ser, se les va a agregar esa cámara montada y esperamos acabar con el resto de la flota cuando haya fondos necesarios. Ahora, referente al caso de Rudy Farias, queremos, voy a hablar un poco sobre lo que dijo el teniente de esta investigación. En el 2015 se reportó a este individuo como una persona desaparecida. En ese momento tenía 17 años de edad. La investigación que han conducido los detectives nos indica de que esta persona en realidad no estaba desaparecida, que hubo contactos con la policía durante estos 8 años. Desafortunadamente, cuando hubo contacto con la policía, este individuo dio otro nombre, un nombre ficticio, y por eso nunca se pudo indicar en nuestros récords, en nuestros archivos, de que esta persona que había sido reportada desaparecida había tenido contacto con la policía. Entonces, van a contestar sus preguntas. En este momento nada más quiero decirles de que cualquier necesidad que tenga Rudy se le va a dar. Si necesita ayuda de nuestras divisiones de asistencia a víctimas, se les va a proporcionar. ¿Okay? No se les ha dado ninguna, el procurador, la oficina del procurador no ha aceptado ningún cargo en este momento. Gracias.
Go ahead. Right.
Yeah.
I'm handling
with a detective, and he heard from Rudy firsthand. He said that there were sexual abuse allegations and that he was drugged by his mother. From what you just said today, are you saying that the activist was lying?
Basically, what we're saying is our investigation, and we treat it the same. We're going to, our investigators were in the room, and basically, what they heard and what they interviewed, that's what we attest to in our offense reports and our investigations. And I'm not here, neither are they here to question anybody's integrity, but our integrity with the Houston Police Department stands, and we're going to report and put in offense reports what a victim or potential victim tells us. Okay.
But just to be clear, in that room, the detective did not hear anything about sexual abuse.
That's insane.
Go ahead.
Wow.
Yeah,
He ain't having it.
Yes, I interviewed him, and no, there was no. I'm trained to listen for probable cause. I'm trained to listen for statements that can help me get charges or move forward with the case. And no, there was no statements made during this investigation so far. No.
Thank you. Next question. Go ahead, Mario.
Wow, he's not
Wait a
even.
minute. Go ahead. We get it. Yeah. Go ahead.
Big time on defense.
That is correct, coming from Rudy Farias.
Was there any conversations about sexual relationship between your mother and son?
So we don't release any type of information related to sexual assaults. That's just state law. I
Okay.
can't comment on that.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Is Rudy a victim then in all of this, or
Yeah.
did he and his mother work together? I mean, he wasn't missing.
The investigation is still going on, Courtney, and I'm not going to say he's a victim or not. I'm thinking, and saying we're going to treat this just as we do with any potential victim or victim, and we're going to give respect to everybody that's involved. We're going to conduct our investigation, and kind of right at the beginning of it. This investigation is going to go on after this press conference. Sorry. If charges are appropriate, they'll see. But let us conduct the investigation.
Where's she at
and
then?
What's next, Courtney? Just as any other investigation, we're going to follow our evidence. We're going to do more interviews, and we're going to follow the evidence. And I think that's important. Go ahead.
Chief, can you say, were there any signs of mental illness, that he might be mentally ill, that his mother might be mentally ill?
We're not going to say that right now. Anyway, we're going to conduct an investigation. It's really too early to determine that. There are going to be some more parts to the investigations, and some of that may come into play. But right now,
So just because there were some other allegations that he had been held prisoner, that he had been taken to Mexico, is there any indication that that was true, or was that allegedly?
Lieutenant. Yeah.
That would have been kidnapping, right? Or holding somebody next to them.
We don't have any information to say that there was any kind of kidnapping or anything like that right now.
Okay.
Wow. So where are they?
I think it's no search warrants.
No, at the time he was reported missing 8 years ago, being missing is not a crime. So the detectives had no lawful means or probable cause to issue a search warrant for the residence, which was searched several times.
We're going to work our way down, and we'll get back to you. Go ahead. Yes. There's no permanent timeline. As you can imagine, there's a cost to it, and there are some complications. To give you one just quick thing, a challenge. 200 of our vehicles are modeled 2014 or older. That's a challenge. I'm not, when we're up against a financial budget like we are, you got to pick and choose, and you got to prioritize some things. So, but as quickly as funding comes in, we're going to work to getting all of our patrol vehicles and those vehicles that come into contact with the public with dash cams. But I want people to realize one thing: 100% of our officers that's out there on the streets have body-worn cameras on, 100%. And we know for a fact that if you would choose dash cams, I'd love to have both systems, okay, 100%. But once you get out that car where most things happen in interaction, hand-to-hand, I want that body-worn camera. But as we get funding in, and as I said, the mayor is stepping up like he always does, but he can only do so much. This funding issue didn't start. And I'm going to say this, I stay away from politics, okay? But the citizens in Houston, at some point in time, we're going to have to really face how we're going to properly fund public safety and public servants, okay? Because you need better fire trucks, you need better equipment. We can't keep kicking that can down the street. We're going to have to talk about things of a revenue cap, but we'll leave it to the politicians. Next question. Go ahead.
I heard you mention that there was no need for a search warrant in between yesterday and the day that he was discovered. Was anything searched? Was anybody questioned? Anybody go by the house?
Rudy and his mother were interviewed yesterday. As far as anyone going to the house, it's still active investigation. We can't release details pertaining to that.
Also, quick clarity, was he 17 at the time that he was missing?
Yes, sir, that's
Yes.
correct.
So he's 25.
He's
25 now. Yeah. Go ahead, Mario. I'll get to y'all. Hold up. Go ahead.
Was there a missing persons report filed by his mother at the very beginning?
That was in March.
Yes.
2015.
So there was a missing persons report that was filed.
Correct.
And so this is what I'm asking on this one. Could the mother be detained for filing a missing persons report and never once informing HPD that he came home?
Yes, she could be reported or detained. That offense is a Class C misdemeanor, which is similar to a traffic citation.
Right.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Farias was found on Thursday. Your investigator spoke to him nearly a week later. Do you think it was a mistake not to speak to him sooner? You said yourself the DA has not accepted charges, that's a week where evidence could be destroyed. What's your response to that?
So it's procedure for the investigation to go through a channel. And when it reaches us, we review it. There was no urgency to investigate a recovered or found person. And I say that because patrol officers made contact with him. They ensured that he was safe. They contacted HFD to make sure that he didn't need medical treatment, and he was cleared on scene by HFD. He refused transportation to the hospital. His mother took him to the hospital later on that evening.
What the lieutenant said, I think, is important. You can't force a potential victim of a missing person, okay, with nothing else to come in and give a statement. So it takes time to try to work with people to get that statement.
I know you believe in transparency, and I just, for the public, we're going to put this on the news, and it's going to cause more questions, because yesterday we hear from the activist who makes these shocking allegations, and as a reporter who was there, I did see him myself go in and out of the room, so it was clear that he had some sort of communication.
Transparency doesn't come in front and maintaining the integrity of the investigation, and that's where my transparency stops. But and this is the last question I'm gonna ask about the activists or anybody else. You know, we're gonna follow our investigation, and we treat it the same. Everybody has a role in society, and we respect everybody, including our activists. But the integrity of the investigation is number one, and we're gonna maintain that. Okay. Yeah. I don't think so. Go ahead. Anybody?
Anybody?
Yes, we do. Rudy is safe. He is with his mother by choice.
Okay, not on the run.
Yeah, he's a 25-year-old man.
Right. Hey, we're going to get a few more. Mario right here, and then we're going to work our way down. Probably 4 more, and we're going to wrap. I said potential victim, and I want to be respectful on that.
He is, though. He is a victim.
17.
There's been cases in the past where people have been brainwashed, where people have been told not to, and they're being held against their will. For everyone that's going to be watching this worldwide, because this is a worldwide story, how do you not separate him until you guys are able to get everything together, considering that he disappeared as a child?
Mario, you've been in the business for a long time, and I'm gonna let you answer that. Okay, we've explained everything, some of the challenges or whatnot. Here's a fact: he's a grown man. 20. Listen to what I'm saying. If you want me to answer, no, he was an adult, 17. Hold up, okay. Not confrontational. I respect what everybody does. Okay, but 17 years old, that's an adult in the state of Texas. Okay. A lot of things that we shared up here. So we're going to work our way through it. It takes a little while.
Like I said,
there's a lot of development still, even last night. Okay. We know that everything's coming up. We're going to investigate it. The integrity is going to stay in place. We're going to treat him the same as any other person that comes through that we're conducting investigation on. I'm done with that part. Go ahead, Courtney.
I'm done.
Go ahead. Okay. Anybody?
What can you tell us about why Rudy and his mother then allegedly lied for 8 years and said he was missing when he clearly wasn't?
I can answer that though. I mean, to protect, we can't predict motivation or whatnot. We could just try to, right, yeah. But during the interview and the particulars of it, it's active investigation, and we respect that, but can't. Yeah. Next question. Yeah.
Interesting.
We wasn't just doing 8 years total investigation. Okay, so it went dormant for a little bit, but the case was still open. Okay, and I want to say this: until we find people, until we clear it, that's when it should be cleared. But if your question is, we expended some resources. Absolutely, yes. No, you're prioritizing. Okay. We're in a budget that there are challenges. Okay. And what I've presented we'll side note this. Okay. Because it takes a little while to explain it. When you have challenges, people look at a $1 billion budget. Okay. And everybody just, oh my God, HPD has a lot of money. 92% of that goes to salary and benefits. So it's not a whole lot of money. We have to pay our people and we have to be competitive. The mayor just gave 7.2 million so we can get more cadets in. So there are a lot of challenges. What I'm saying is this didn't happen just in the mayor's administration. For years, you need so much amount, 14 million. I always talk about that to
This is
properly
insane.
Replace vehicles in our fleet. But some years when things are just, you got a lot of stuff going on. Okay. When you don't get that, it kicks it back and it makes it worse. We have an aging fleet. 50% of our vehicles are a little bit more are beyond the replacement life. And that's patrol vehicles, 100,000 miles, 5 years. Unmarked vehicles, 120,000 miles, 7 years. Okay. So we have a very aging fleet and a lot of other problems. So we will prioritize and we're going to get there where we need to. But outside state, go ahead. Yes. No. No, we're not going to say anything. Let me get you and then I'm going to get you. You're going to be the last one. Go ahead.
We can. It's a call for service.
Yeah.
There was a burglary report last night at the house. Patrol responded, and we were alerted because it was a house of note, and it's been part of the investigation, and that is also now part of our investigation. What happened last night, and it's still going.
You said in the beginning
Thank
of
you.
this press conference that Rudy has made contact with patrol units at some point. Can you explain what that was, and does he face any charges for saying that he had false names?
So it is a criminal offense to give false names when you're detained under arrest or you're making a valid police report. There was an instance where he did that, him and his mother. At this time, though, the district attorney has declined to accept charges on that until our entire investigation has been complete.
So you tried to charge him as well.
It was, the facts were presented to the district attorney.
Mario, we're going to end it. Okay. Go ahead.
Can you say what that contact was quickly though with him? You said patrol units, was it like he was stopped in his car? Can you just?
I was gonna ask specifically, did HPD ever go to his home and with his mother and were any fictitious names given
excuse me. Investigators did go out to the home multiple times. They talked to various family members, relatives, friends, neighbors, and yes, they were given a fictitious name.
So was there contact made with Rudy at his home?
Let me close with this one thing, okay? Let me close with this, Mario.
Man, this guy's something else.
We've been open as we can. It's not our first investigation, and everybody here understands what I'm saying about the integrity investigation. This is where we're going to end. We wanted to get up before a lot because this has come as not only a local, but a national, and some cases international, okay, because of everything that's going on. But it ends today, not our investigation, but as we get more information and when it's appropriate, we'll send out information. Okay. So I want to thank everybody. I want to thank you for your patience and thank y'all for what you do every day. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah. Get y'all names.
Wow. So
Stephen Jimenez, STEPHENJIMENEZ, Sergeant.
Detective Brian Fort, BRIANFOR.
interesting stuff, guys. This was kind of, I don't know, trash. But let me hear what they
investigation
say.
into the 8-year disappearance of Rudy
Lieutenant Christopher
Farias.
Zamora,
There was a little bit in there
CHRIS,
about dash
TOPHER,
cams for
Zamora,
patrol cars, but the
ZAMORA.
bulk of the questions, the
Yes, sir.
bulk of that press conference addressed what investigators have known for the past 8 years and what they've learned just in the past couple of days. We are standing by waiting to possibly hear from members of Rudy Farias' family. If we can get a hold of that, I will bring it to you immediately. What did we learn in this press conference? We learned that the day after Rudy went missing in March 2015, he returned home. His mother had already filed a missing persons report, according to investigators, and she never corrected that. She never followed up with HPD to let them know that Rudy returned home. For the past 8 years, they said they have had some evidence that Rudy was not missing. He and his mother have both had interactions with HPD. Officers didn't explain what those interactions were, but that there had been interactions in which both Rudy and his mom, Janie Santana, used false names, used fraudulent identities in those interactions with HPD. HPD pushed for charges to be filed against Rudy and Janie for using false names. We're told the DA's office has declined to move forward with charges until this investigation is complete. According to investigators, Rudy did not reveal any information about sexual abuse related to his mother in the conversations they had with him yesterday. Now, you'll remember Quanell X came out yesterday in a press conference and said he was in those conversations with investigators, with Rudy, with Janie Santana, the mother, and that in a private moment where there was another investigator in the room, Quanell X said Rudy confided to him that his mother had drugged him and sexually assaulted him. Now, Houston police are saying there is no evidence of that. Their investigators did not hear any allegations of sexual abuse from Rudy.
Now, it's very interesting because we definitely got to talk about that. Oh, wait a second.
She took Rudy yesterday from the hotel. So like the chief of police said that Rudy is with his mother. He needs to get the facts straight. Rudy is not with his mother. He is with this other friend who has known and had Rudy in her possession.
There we go.
Rudy ahorita está con una amiga de Janie, la mamá, y
he's not with the mom.
Estamos esperando que él viene con la familia.
You know, one of the things the chief just said in that press conference was that if you're watching yesterday, you know, Quanell X talked about that there were sexual assault allegations, that his mother had sexually assaulted him, had drugged him, and the chief said there is no indication that that happened.
Let me interrupt on that. I'm going, hold on.
One at a time, sorry, I just want to make sure we hear you.
That chief is something else.
Is not going to know if those allegations are true or not unless Rudy had been taken to go get medically evaluated. It doesn't take, it doesn't take someone to have a degree to know that you are not going to know anything if you are not checked.
But of course, Rudy was in the hospital.
She ain't wrong.
In the hospital, the pictures that Janie had been posting and giving to the media and everybody, are pictures from 2012 when Rudy was hospitalized. They are not from this past week. They are not recent pictures. So if higher authority would get their story straight and do the investigation like they're supposed to, they would know these things.
Whoa. He was sexually assaulted by
I
his
do
mother?
believe that Rudy would not come out and say something like that. Rudy was very shy, timid little boy.
Auntie coming out.
That happened. You
Yes.
believe his mother was capable of that.
Yes.
¿Ustedes sí creen que pudo haber abusado sexualmente de él?
Yes. Yes. La mamá sí le hizo algo.
She believes it.
Y nosotros no vamos a saber nada si no lo llevan con un doctor para que lo pueden
Come on
checar.
now.
El chief of police y todos que están diciendo que
So she's
no
pissed.
saben
Yeah.
o no pueden aclarar eso. No van a poder aclarar nada si no lo llevan con un médico.
Okay,
¿Qué piensan de hoy de la
Wow.
conferencia?
Let me speak. I'm going to say this in English.
Please.
Chief of police could have brought out Quanell X's statement
Yep.
because my nephew Rudy Farias, who so-called quote unquote was missing since 8 years ago, 2015, and those fake hospital pictures were fake from 2012. Cornell's statement should have been brought up because Cornell is here to help. It's very rare that he would come out and speak up on behalf. And my nephew, Rudy, would have never talked if Janie was around, okay?
That's true.
Janie is a hypothetical liar, manipulative.
Pathological, she meant.
She knows a lot of people in the HPD. So I'm going to have to say, I'm not quite sure, but I'm going to have to say she knows a lot of people in HPD. And that's why her freaking ass has been covered up.
How are you feeling about him?
Shots fired.
No hay cargos.
Yo, shots fired. Let's go, ladies. Let's go.
Going to do something to her child, knowing that that is very wrong and that's crucial.
Yeah.
Okay. It runs in the family, in her family, and I'm very pissed off. And I don't want to bring my past up because of Santana's stepfather. And I'm sorry to say that I grew a hard life, but because of her father that sexually abused me. So it runs in her family.
There you go.
Someone should be
Wow.
in this case.
Yes.
Wow.
There should be charges.
Let's go, ladies.
En el press conference que no hay charges.
And who-
Van a hacer una
Pero ¿qué sienten de
investigación.
saber que no hay cargos en contra?
Estamos bien enojados. ¿Cómo no van a hacer nada? Y ellos están diciendo que no van a hacer nada porque no hay pruebas. ¿Cómo chingas no van a ver si hay pruebas o no? Si no llevan a Rudy para que lo chequeen.
Yesterday, when we were at the hotel, they had her, from what I believe, I didn't get there on time because I was doing other stuff. They had her in handcuffs. Why in the freaking world did they let her go while she was in handcuffs? Because they made one phone call to a district attorney, whoever he was, and said, what, let her go. There's nothing to follow any evidence. Bullshit. Yes.
Not only with what she's done to Rudy, but falsifying that he had been kidnapped, taken to Mexico, that he had been spotted in other states. She had people all over the United States looking for him because of her
doing
false
this
names.
damn GoFunding me account.
There we go. Like I just
Fraudulently
said.
taking money when the son was there. And I don't mean to bring this up. God rest our mom in peace. But when my mom was under our home health where I work at, I would go visit her because she would never answer her freaking phone. I would go knock at her door. It would take Janie 20 minutes exactly, because I would time it to answer the freaking door. During the time, and my heart tells me something is going on, I would finally see my mom all dirty, malnourished, really filthy, and going in her bedroom so filthy that it was a shame.
Pauline, can I just ask you, investigators said over and over again that they had made contact with both Rudy and his mother over the past 8 years. They gave fake names on multiple occasions, both of them. Your reaction to hearing that?
If that was fake names giving because Rudy was coerced by his mom to lie, and she manipulated Rudy to say what it was. Once again, I'll bring the subject up. Had Cornell X not been there yesterday at the hotel and took Rudy aside to talk to him, Rudy then felt the comfortness to talk to Cornell X and bring every freaking thing that she did to our nephew. How in the hell is a mom going to do that to her own kids?
Let's go.
Even my own mom, when she was alive, God rest her in peace, that we had to marry her because she couldn't take this shit anymore from Janie. You know, it's horrible. My mom would tell me in person, Rudy is here, Rudy is here. I would go and try to open the doors and she would say, what are you doing there? I said, I'm just seeing if I left something behind or whatever. My mom never lied. She always said my mom had dementia. Yes, my mom finally got her Alzheimer's at 80-something years old when my sister Sylvia finally took controlship of her. You know, this is hard, but we promised her mom we would make justice, that this would come to light.
Pauline, you believe that Rudy was a victim?
Wow.
That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Totally victimized.
Can I say something in regards to the chief of police saying that numerous occasions Rudy and his mom were stopped by the police and they gave fake names, aren't the police asking for ID,
Further
driver's license,
investigations?
something when a person gets pulled over? Aren't they supposed to have something, show something,
Word.
proof of your name?
Facts.
So were they not shown? Were they not asking this to know that these people are giving fake names, or were fake IDs or driver license presented?
So why do you think that they were so reluctant to talk about what was discussed, what Quanell told
Because
us?
I think the police are hiding something. They know that
Janie
they
comes
know
from a
there is
background of
proof.
HPD.
They know there is proof, and yes, Janie has a lot of contacts with the HPD department, and people up there, higher level people, are hiding the fact that Janie has done things. Her ex-husband, Rudy's father, who also committed suicide because of his things that he was doing within the police department. So I know there are lots of officers, lots of DAs, judges that do their job. They do what they promise and swear to do, and there are the corrupt ones. And these people are hiding and lying for her. And right now, she's getting away.
I asked the chief
Wow.
upstairs if HPD ever went to the house specifically.
This is knuckin' futs.
And they cut it off. The gentleman,
Because they didn't go. They've been there one time when she used to live on Lee Road in Humble. They went one time when we reported that Rudy was at that location.
So the HPD did make contact
Just one time.
at the home.
At the home.
On Lee Road, not on the Valley Lake.
And then one time
And Rudy was there.
HPD's, I can't remember his name, but he called me at my office on my cell phone to tell me if I took a picture of Rudy in that house. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't seen Rudy since he has been missing. And as of to this day today, I have not seen my nephew.
Do you guys have
He sent me a picture. He says, well, can I send you a picture? I said, send me the picture. I want to see the picture. So he sent me the picture, and I have that picture here.
Can we see it?
Absolutely.
Do you
This
guys
is-
have a message for Rudy if he's watching this right now?
Yes,
please?
Rudy, if you're watching this,
Rudy,
let us help you.
if you're watching this, Mito, we love you. Your aunts, your cousins, we stand behind you, and we are right here with you.
This
We
hurts.
love you.
Who do you hold at fault for this? Because obviously you guys have anger and frustration. Do you view it as HPD not doing it, or do you view it also
HPD failed us.
I'm sorry, what?
HPD failed us.
The DA
That's what
told
they did.
us yesterday. They had her. She was in handcuffs and she was released because they said they had no proven evidence, no factual evidence.
But what about all the
You
scars?
cannot have
Here's the
factual
picture.
evidence if you do not take him to get
And
checked.
that picture's what?
This is the picture that some HPD officer sent me because I requested
Wow.
the picture.
Well, we can't
What
see
is this
it.
picture?
Come on, bruh.
Rudy in the kitchen of his mother's
Come on,
house in
sweetheart. Angle.
2018.
I'm sorry,
Angle
what?
it. Let's see it.
Rudy, that's a picture of Rudy in his mother's house in 2018. That's when Janie was married to Robert Ortega.
Okay. Stop. Move the.
Tell us your relation to Rudy and just make sure and give us your name.
My next question is, Rudy,
Wow.
I do want to say Rudy because I'm hoping that he's not getting manipulated and keeping away from watching TV. That so-called friend of Janie Santana, where he's at, Nikki Garza. Remember, you will be an accomplice. I've got pictures of cars. I got license plates. I will turn those in, which I've already posted them on Facebook. And I
Hamburger.
really hope that I do. What I would like for HPD to see is make a report, be on the lookout for those cars, and just run a report.
You know,
But
we
she's
know that-
always changing cars. I physically went after the airport. What was that hotel? Holiday Inn. I physically went to her house yesterday.
It's unbelievable.
Snoop around. There were reporters there. I didn't do nothing illegal. She has been living there. I did find, and Rudy, this is what I want you to find out because I know that you've always carried it very dearly with you. And I did find it because I know you've had it for many years. That more than likely grandma gave it to you. If you can get away, if they're not forcing you to stay where you're at, and if you can get away, you know where to find us. You can call your Aunt Sylvia, which is your godmother. You can call Abel, my son, which is your cousin. And this is what I found because I did go snooping around and I knew that you were there. You see this here?
Wow.
Are those his rosary beads?
This is his rosary that he would always carry around his neck. Always.
And where did you find that?
I found it right in the front as probably his mom was rushing him to hurry up and get away from the neighborhood. So right now, Janie Santana has gone back. I have people within the areas on the lookout. They did call me at 12:30, 4:36 in the morning that she was in the neighborhood.
She wasn't in the neighborhood. She went home to load her car up with clothes and stuff to take. And we're also told that whatever the vehicle that she's driving right now, she's loaded. She's got 2 guns with her. She's got a car full, and she's gone and tried to convince or bribe Rudy into changing his story. She offered him thousands of dollars. She's offering the neighbors money to keep their mouths quiet and say that they're all lying about
Neighbors did come to me yesterday.
Wow.
Telling me that she did offer each neighbor 150, 250 per day or for whatever so that they won't say nothing. Okay, they were very honest. And one lady, I won't say her name, but she was on the news. She did come up to me when I was there in front of Janie Santana's house, acknowledging everything that I knew deep in my heart that he has always been there all this time. But people thought, and I'm going to find out who the first investigator was when I heard about the disappearance and I knew it wasn't right. Okay. This investigator, I don't know who it was, but private investigator, she got on the phone with me and called me every name in the book that I didn't want to see Janie finding her son, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, you know what? That day's going to come that everything's going to come out to light.
PD said that he was okay, that he's an adult, that, you know, he made his choice to stay with her. How do you guys feel?
Very upset. He wouldn't have said those things if he knew that Janie wasn't holding on him. And prior to them leaving the hotel yesterday, Janie had threatened him that had he not left with her, she was going to hurt herself and he was going to be without a mother. If he didn't change his story, that both he and she would end up in jail or prison because of what he told Cornell X. With my understanding, there was law enforcement in that same room hearing that conversation. So for the chief of police to say that they didn't hear anything
And they recorded it.
Cornell X, no, sir. Get it straight. Tell your people to tell the truth, speak the truth. I don't care what position you're in, how high you are up there. Speak the truth. This kid is not a kid anymore. He's 25 years old, but he needs help. He's been in there.
HPD's position is that at the time he was 17 years old, which in the state of Texas,
a male is considered an adult at the age of 17. It doesn't matter. He was forced and he was drugged. He was forced to do what his mother told him to do.
Let me clarify
How
this.
is that not a crime? His mother has held him there under false pretense that if he reached out or looked for help, he was going to go to jail and something bad was going to happen to him. What is someone of his state of mind at that time? He may have been 17, but he still had the mind of a 10-year-old. Rudy was not a grown adult at that time. His mind was. He was not anywhere near where he could be on his own.
Being
correct,
being manipulated, taking advantage of your own child that you raised. And Janie, I know you're listening to me, and you can come back and say that you're going to have me locked up or get me in trouble or whatever. Stick that up to where the sunshine don't shine. I'm going to say it in a nice way because your day is coming. We're almost there to get you. There's nowhere that you can run because I'm going to make sure that your posters go all over. Don't even attempt to get into an airport.
Let's
and
go.
go anywhere because that's not going to happen.
Let's go.
What do you think motivated your sister?
To do this, she's always been manipulative. She's had different husbands, different names. She even tried to use my name that I did whatever to her, which is falsifying.
She's a greedy person.
She's a very
always
greedy
been
person.
Greedy, self-centered, selfish.
It's
She's
all
is
about
insane.
She's always been after money. Any way she can get money, any way, anything she has to do, she doesn't care who it hurts or what the outcome is, as long as she has the money for that time, and then she moves on to another way. My grandma, may God rest her peace.
Like you said, he was sort of simple.
Who wouldn't have a mental delay when
No,
you're
they're asking if
Ye-
when he
no.
was a child.
when he was growing up, he was fun to be with. He grew up with his cousins, my children, my sister's children. They all got along. And then all of a sudden, she just took controlship when my nephew had that motorcycle accident, and that's where some of his his mind just went off. And then my oldest nephew, yes, her firstborn. And then the dad killed himself, HPD, for whatever reasons. I don't know.
Wow.
Or whatever.
And what are your names, ladies?
This is
My
wild.
name is Pauline Sanchez Rodriguez. I'm the oldest of the aunt here.
Michelle Rodriguez, I'm his cousin, first cousin.
Michelle, podríamos hablar contigo.
I have nothing to hide. I'm a tip. And I know that this is all coming about greediness, about money. He's bought another life insurance policy.
This is wild.
I've got pictures on my phone. I did take pictures. I didn't take her mail because I know that's a federal offense, but it's not bad just to take pictures.
And you know, they say that the DA has not pressed charges yet, that they need to wait to complete their investigation before they proceed with this. Right now,
This is
Jamie
wild.
has the chance to get further away. She
They're
is
giving her the
fleeing.
opportunity.
They're helping her. They're giving her a head start when all they had to do was bring her in and question her, bring Rudy in, take him to get evaluated, have medical records because he has not been in a hospital. He has not been checked since they got him from the church over there in Second Ward.
Wow.
Magnolia. So, Chief of Police and whoever else is saying that y'all have to wait, thank you. You're giving Janie a head start.
Dang. See? Good point.
We would like for Rudy to come home with my aunt and for him to get, I mean, if we have to do the law's job for them, we would do what we need to do to get him the help he needs so we can take care of him.
Of course, we're not going to do nothing illegal, but as I said, as I said yesterday, I called HPD to send a unit out there to have the license plates run 2 different places. They never showed up. When I called back, dispatch or somebody from that HPD unit told me, we don't have any units. We don't have any units. So what? We don't have any units. But as soon as we get a unit, how long would that be? 2 or more hours?
That's
We
insane.
waited there, nobody ever showed up. I finally called back. I said, you know what? I'm tired of waiting. I'm going back to the other destination. I'll go do things on my own.
That is wild. This is crazy, y'all. This is one of the best press conferences I've ever seen in my whole entire life. My Lord. Bombshell after bombshell, y'all. We are going to break this down, though, here in a little bit.
You don't know her.
How are you?
Is it over? They ain't done yet. Let them talk. Ah, what?
Okay, it looks like those statements from
That's it?
Janie Santana's sisters, the aunts of Rudy Farias, just wrapped up their
Hamburger.
statements.
Okay. I'm going to let this play in the background for a second. Or, have this, her talking head as I break this down. First off, let me just say this. One of the wildest off the cuff press conferences from a bunch of aunties and cousins. Let me just say this. I wish there were more press conferences like this. I'm going to be real, because there's a lot of times where we get the very glossy, very by the book breakdown of certain things, like what we got earlier. Okay, we got to talk about that press conference. In fact, she's kind of annoying me, so I'm gonna. She's playing off to the side. Don't worry. If they bring them back up, we are gonna watch it. Trust. Okay, but let's talk about the first press conference. Okay, the one that we were all waiting for, because that was very impromptu. The one on the side of the street, and they big mad. Woo! They are big mad, and understandably that they're big mad. All right, but you saw the police, you saw the chief of police come in. You could tell his attitude was not, he wasn't having it. That's the vibe I was getting. Like, I don't know. And to me, that could be interpreted in so many different ways. It could be interpreted like, oh, he knows more than he's letting off. He is pissed off, and upset that there was the Quanell statement that was made yesterday afternoon, and probably in his mind he's like, damn it, now everybody, the press is only going to be asking about the accusations that in the statement that Quanell made. Damn, you know what I mean? And of course, obviously, it's not a good look to show what happened 8 years ago. It shows that HPD didn't do their doggone job, that they dropped the ball multiple times. But in that press conference, let's really quick. I mean, basically what we got as far as the bullets are in it are this. They said that there were a couple occurrences where they ran into Rudy or the mother or both of them, but they were using false identities. They were using fake identities. That's very, very interesting. So these people were hiding in plain sight. They were hiding in plain sight in front of 5-0, and yet they never put 2 and 2 together. Yet it was still an open case, as the chief of police said later on in the press conference. That's the one big piece that I took away. The second big piece is that they are still investigating the accusations that Quanell X stated in yesterday's impromptu press conference that he had outside the hotel when he was walking Rudy out to the car to check out his G-Wagon, right? And I guess it's the stream is over. This channel's stream is over, okay? Just so you guys know, just to make that abundantly clear, okay? But they said, even after that, when they talked about that, they said, apparently one of their investigators is like, we were investigating, we're looking into it, and from the information that we received, it showed nothing of the sort. They said that there was no proof of any wrongdoing, that there was no proof of any of this stuff, which to me is wild. Okay, because he said, oh, I was using certain words to see if he was gonna, not this particular detective, the guy off camera with the glasses next to him in the white shirt, not the bald guy in the back, the guy in the glasses and the pink tie. He said, I used certain words, I used, questions, and I was trying to hear, there's certain words and things that can be said that give off the vibe of maybe there was things like foul play or bad things being done to this young man. He did not say anything of the sort, right? This is what the guy in the pink tie was saying. Interesting. He said, I'm investigating, we're looking into this stuff, blah, 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 but he said nothing of the sort. Any of the claims that Quanell X said is just something that was being said, right? So those are the two things that we received, two main things. And they talked about dash cam stuff that has nothing to do with the case in itself, but whatever. Anyway, moving on. They said all this stuff there. We're just talking about press conference number 1, the one that's just kind of trash in my personal opinion. Because at the end of the day, they're going, there's nothing we can do. I mean, we can't do anything, because of this, that, and the third. Chief of police is basically saying, not this gentleman here, not this officer here, but the chief of police is basically saying, hey, he's an adult, so there's certain things that we can't do. There's certain things we can't maneuver. See, to me, that doesn't make any sense. Because if you're an adult and there's crime still being done upon you or at you, if you are a victim of a crime, can't they still press charges when said crime is happening, even to an adult? Doesn't matter if it's an adult or child. If you are being SA'd, that is still a crime. And the fact that they're like, there's no proof of any crimes, that doesn't make any sense to me at all. They have reports of them identifying themselves as fake names, using aliases whenever they got pulled over, or whenever they had interactions with 5-0. There are obvious markings on his body showing proof positive that he went through some things. He was in the hospital for a reason because of the injuries that he endured recently. And allegedly, from what Quanell X said, they recorded the conversation. There was somebody in the room recording the conversation that Rudy was having with Quanell X. In fact, apparently that tape was still running. They were still recording. When Mama came back inside, Janie came back inside and was trying to tell Rudy to take all that stuff back. All those accusations, take them all back. Apparently they got something on tape. They have it all on tape. So now they're sitting here going, oh, we got nothing. We have no proof. We're still doing the investigation, everybody. We're doing the investigation. We're doing our best to find out what's going on here. See? Doesn't make any sense now, does it? When you got a kid who, when the mom went away, he said, this is what's going on. This is what she's been doing. This is the reason why I ran away the first time. This is what's blah, blah, blah. She's been doing this, and this. Now, here it is. You can easily say a possibility of him having a mental break. He might be mentally off. That could be a possibility. He could be lying about that part, but you cannot fake the funk. You cannot deter yourself away from the fact that they were still using fake names after he went missing. During the 8 years that he had been said missing, they were using fake names. So we could throw away everything else. We could do that. Throw away the SA accusations, the fact that he was getting pumped with chemicals, the fact that he was being physically aided as well, held against his will. We can throw all those things away. You cannot deny the fact that there were other things going on, like faking his ID, literally hiding in plain sight. You can't deny those pieces, at least. And you can't deny the markings that are left on his body from years of torment. So to me, when I look at this, I keep wondering what the heck is going on here and why this is happening the way it's happening. But then it gets really good, guys. It gets really, really good. And we get over here to the aunties. I'm just going to call them the aunties for right now. The aunties come through in the clutch and say, all of them be lying, them lies. They're even sitting there saying the HPD has been dropping the ball since day one. And the fact that they're even, now understandably, this is coming from the family, this is coming from the aunties, but the aunties are claiming that because of possible connections, deep connections within the police department in Houston, there are reasons why certain things are getting swept under the rug or overlooked. That's pretty damning. Another piece of information, especially with this one in the middle, okay? I don't remember her name, and forgive me for not remembering her name, but she did speak out on something that I think is extremely important. She spoke out on there's a history here, that there is a cycle of SA in the family. She claims that she was SA'd by her stepfather. Same father that was most likely SAing Janie as well. Now, I'm not trying to defend or make excuses. I'm just saying we all know that a lot of these stories, a lot of these situations stay within the family and they're generational. It's like a disgusting little disease that gets passed on from one generation to another, to another, to another. And clearly it got passed on, but in a very sinister and messed up way, and affected Janny to the point where she was doing the same terrible, if not worse things to her own son, Rudy. These three are actually the ones that are making having the best. This is the best press conference ever. This is the press conference we should have been. Well, we did get it, but this is the press conference that should have been up there. We don't need to hear 5-0 and their excuses. We don't need to hear them say, oh, woulda, shoulda, coulda, or moving the goalpost, or blaming it on the wind, like we are used to hearing all the time. Or the other phrase that we hear all the time, we're keeping this one close to the vest. And I get that part. A lot of times you got to keep things close to the vest. Somebody else just said it here, thinking, Thriving and Beyond said, you guys, is it possible that HPD is not telling anyone what they are really doing with the investigation? That maybe they are on this case and not telling anyone? Let me tell you this. That could very well be it, Thriving and Beyond. They might be holding this very, very close, as we've heard from many other PDs in their press conferences, keeping this very close to the vest because they don't want Janny to kick rocks. Let's not forget that. There's a possibility that she could get scared or just run, right? Get scared, run, or just try to cover her tracks. But by leaving her out there, by letting her go, by overlooking certain things, wishing for sure there are crimes that were laws that were broken here. But instead of them going, we got to bring you in, girl. I'm sorry. Instead of doing that, they're letting her out. And what happens? In midnight, in the middle of the night, she packs up, stocks up her whole car, gets 2 guns, jumps in her ride, and kicks rocks and disappears. Now, 5-0 says they know where she is. We don't. All we know is that Rudy is not at all in any way, shape, or form in her custody right now. He is nowhere near her right now. He is with somebody else who is apparently connected to Janny as well, and that might be Team Janny as well. And that's not good because the manipulation still is seeping into that household as well. So I'm hoping that the aunties get involved and drag him out of that house and take him somewhere safe where it's not an echo chamber of Team Janny. It's more Team Rudy. Let me grab these really quick. Truth and Transparency. What's up? They said, "Oh my goodness, these poor women. My heart. This is so very sad. I'm proud the media is letting them just speak. Let them just speak. These women are going to need protection now. Please be safe." I do agree with that as well. It is a very dangerous thing that they just did. They put their life on the line right here by calling out HPD, by calling out everything. Okay. And if HPD is really as corrupt as they say that they are, yes, I hope that they get the protection that they need. Truth and Transparency. Thank you so much for the 10 prayers for the aunties. Strong women. I agree. Absolutely. Strong women indeed. And Keith Fiender, thank you so much for the 2 in honor of the aunties. Yes. Aunties should, I feel like family should always get a chance to get up there and just speak their mind, because especially when it comes to something like this, you see these aunties coming forward. But what's wild to me is I'm going to ask it. I'm going to keep asking it. How was she able to continue to have this kid, this young man, hiding in that house without any of the aunties, cousins, whatever, wondering what was going on? You heard one of the aunties, the one in the middle, especially the one in the middle, said, "Hey, I would call her, I'd show up, and it would take her 20 minutes. Okay? It would take her 20 minutes to answer the door, because she was taking that 20 minutes to get them locked up, put away, so on and so forth. Why didn't anybody? It just makes me wonder. It's 8 years. It's family. Like, I know every nook and cranny of every single sibling's home. I know all of their rooms and everything. I can literally map out my family's rooms like that easily. I could draw it out and everything, right? Walk in here, you turn left, it looks like this. Turn right, it looks like this. You know what I mean? It's so weird. And I'm not blaming them. I'm not trying to put blame on them, but I'm just curious as to why there wasn't anybody trying to push the envelope on trying to get more transparency over those 8 years. But I get that there's only so much that they can do. There's only so much that they can physically, legally do as well. But she was hiding him. And then, of course, on top of that, their own mother, the grandma, while she was living there, was being terrorized as well, malnourished, improperly taken care of, so on and so forth. And I keep wondering, why wasn't there anything? Why wasn't there anything that, like, why hasn't anything happened all that time? It just makes you wonder. That is all. But there was a lot to get from that whole thing. And yes, I'd be frustrated with 5-0 right now as well, HPD right now. Those aunties have a right to be mad because they're looking at that and they're going, hey, thanks 5-0, because you're just giving her a lot more time to cover her tracks. You're giving her time. You're not examining him. Why weren't you examining him? Why hasn't he gone through the proper procedure to show or to see if there was any type of SA going on his body? And to me, the markings on his body speak volumes, guys. Volumes. And you cannot forget, okay? You had Quanell come out here and say his piece, say some stuff that obviously we're all shocked about, right? We are all shocked about this information, heart-wrenching information. Do you really think he would go out of his way to make this stuff up? Last I checked, I'm sure, I'll just say this, I'm sure Quanell has plenty of other things to do with his life than to come up, go to media, and just straight up make this stuff up. Why waste his time? The only thing I can think of is that this young man is not in his right mind. Clearly, there is some abuse going on in the household, but maybe his mind is broke. Maybe his mind is broken, and he said some things that were not true. That is a possibility. But you cannot deny the fact that there is some sort of going on in that house. The fact that he was still reported as missing since 2015 says a lot about what's really going on here. And the fact that 5-0 is still just kind of dragging their knuckles over this situation is really frustrating as hell. So I can understand why you had a family of aunties, for lack of a better term, coming out and saying, like, what up? This is all a lie. Because they're desperately trying to get justice for this young man who's been in some really bad shape. In some really, really bad shape. Miss B-Town, thank you so much for the $20 super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much for the support. That really means a lot. Real talk. Okay? And yes, Manic, Quanell has a really good reputation in the city of Houston. So why would he go out of his way to say all this stuff? He was brought in. He listened to those things. That confession, those revelations, those bombshells of accusations and allegations, at least were recorded. So where is the recording? Allegedly, Quanell says they were still recording when Janie walked back into the room and said, Rudy, take that all back. That's not true. You're lying, you're lying, you're lying. I'm telling you right now, when you hear not only just Quanell, but you hear the other three, the aunties, coming out and just laying it all out there for everyone to see, You can't tell me that these people are just making these things up. There's something up here. I'm glad that he's not with the mom, but he is still within the mother's reach right now as we speak. Apparently, he is staying at somebody's house. She is not, allegedly, she is not on the run. Let me just say that too. She is not on the run. But she is out here and she still has influence over her son right now as we speak. And I get it. He's 25 years old. He is an adult. But at the same time, when crimes are being committed against an adult, you can still press charges. You can still press charges on an individual. So I don't understand why they're sitting there going, well, he's an adult. That part does not make sense to me. Crimes are still being committed against this young man, and he needs to get justice as soon as possible. Oof. Anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate y'all for being here, watching the press conference. That last piece was everything. Let me say that really quick. That last piece with the aunties was everything. That was exactly what we needed. They put it all out there. Okay? Sometimes family is the best. Sometimes family is the best ones to come out with all the truths. And yes, it was messy. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't properly pieced together, because you could tell they were obviously extremely upset about the information that they were hearing from 5-0. They're like, you got to be kidding me. Who are they protecting now? And why are they protecting this woman of all people? That's the piece that doesn't make any sense at all to me as well. Okay. And that's funny because I remember that too. Sinaloa. I remember that part as well with Astro World. I remember watching that and reacting big time, going, this is trash. So this is wild to me, guys. This is absolutely wild. And obviously, as things begin to grow, because this story ain't done yet. This is not done by a long shot. I'm hoping that they get more proof. We get more truth. I hope that the police get this recording of Quanell talking with Rudy. In fact, I wish they would leak it, because I'd like to hear it for my own self. Okay? I'd really like to hear it from my own self. Okay? Real talk. But outside of that, we're going to have to sit and wait as things start to percolate, because it's percolating, y'all. This story is percolating, and it's not done yet. And I don't think those ladies, those relatives are going to let this one just go to sleep. They're going to keep talking until they get justice for Rudy. And Rudy should get justice for sure. Okay. Anyway, guys, it's time to get going. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really does mean a lot. Don't forget to hit that like button down below. Crush it. Make it scream out your name. And of course, if you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button. Please and thank you. You know your boy is working hard out here in the streets. I don't know why I turned that into a song, but hey, whatever. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that join button down below if you want to support the channel. And of course, don't forget, join my Patreon if you just want to join a different community, okay, with some different types of content over there as well, discussions, etc. So please hit that Patreon as well if you feel like it, okay? But anyway, guys, it is time to get going. Appreciate all y'all for being here. One hell of a morning. Enjoy your afternoon. Do something positive with it, okay? And if there's anything popping off with this, anything new and developing, you know for a fact you're going to hear it right here on the Pascal Show. Anyways, time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys very soon. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.